What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the United YouTube channel. I am Arion, and I am back today with pleasure to talk about United's new signing, or all but a new signing, as reported by everyone. Donny Van De Beek has agreed terms with United. United have matched Ajax's valuation for him, and the Dutch international, the 23-year-old, is set to put pen to paper on a 5-year contract at Manchester United with all but a medical and all those formalities left that are supposed to be scheduled for this week, as it is being reported as of yesterday. And the interesting thing about this deal is that it's how quickly it happened, because I think the consensus belief around the United fan base is that United really drag out their transfer proceedings. Things don't happen quickly. Things don't get done proactively, efficiently. It's always, if you want to call it, the long run, the marathon, where United try to squeeze out the best price, and they often end up paying how much was necessary at the beginning, and the player then ends up missing out on preseason and all those things, that are integral to adapting to a new country, particularly for foreign players, as is the case with Van de Beek. But in this case, the assumption is that Van de Beek might have been a backup option to Jack Grealish, who unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, who knows, got priced out of a move by his club Aston Villa after they stayed up in the Premier League last season. Villa reportedly wanted around £80 million, so it was just not something that United was prepared to pay, especially with Jadon Sancho being the priority. That's going to cost around £108 million. So there was just no room there for two signings of that magnitude, and I just don't think that price warrants for what Grealish offers. I think he's a great player, but I think there are other players that can come in and play the role that he would have played in this team, and I think Van de Beek does that, and he does that for a much lesser price. And he is still only 23 years old. He just turned 23 years old. He has 10 caps for the Netherlands international team. He has a lot of big game experience. That's something that United have been crying out for. Those players who have been playing in those games at the highest level and who don't crumble under pressure when it's asked of them to perform at some level, to reach some sort of expectations when it matters most. Van de Beek has scored at pretty much all of the big stadiums around Europe. He has played in England on multiple occasions, be it against Chelsea or Tottenham Hotspur, and has played well and has scored goals. And I think bringing a player like that young, with that much potential, and already as good as he is just a fantastic piece of business for Manchester United at a room worth £35 million. It's excellent. It's surprising because, like I said, this club has gotten fans used to maybe not operating in that way. But apparently, according to reports, there were other clubs for Van de Beek, such as Real Madrid and Barcelona, but United found out, they sniffed out the interest and acted quickly and sealed the deal, matching Ajax's valuation, which wasn't too crazy either. And following that good relationship that United has with Ajax and Edwin van der Sar, who of course is their CEO and a United legend, things went smoothly, and I think we can expect Van de Beek to be posing with the United shirt by the end of this week, which is fantastic, because he will be in the Holland squad for the Nations League games this month, or from tomorrow onwards in September, of course. But so he will miss some part of preseason, but I think it's just important that he now becomes the player. He will go to that Holland national team meeting, and he will be a Manchester United player. And those players, on social media, Marcus Rashford liking posts, Bruno Fernandes liking posts, I think they will get him involved straight away, and he will feel welcome. And rightly so, because he's the kind of player that United needed. He's the kind of profile that United needed, in a way that he's not just, one position. You can't really put a bracket around him and say, oh, he's coming in and he's a cam or a number 10, and that's all he can do. He's the kind of a player that fits United's profile and system perfectly, as he's very versatile. He can play the number 8, and I think that is his best position, being that kind of a box-to-box midfielder, a la Ander Herrera in my opinion, but maybe with slightly better ability. But I think when it comes to the passion and the heart that he plays with, and his incredible work rate, which is one of his biggest assets, as on most scouting reports, which is very similar to the Spaniard, I think United are getting a fantastic deal here for a player that is just footballingly a little bit better than Ander Herrera, who has more potential because he's younger, but offers a lot of the same things, but has more goals in his game. I think that's huge. He has 75 goal contributions in 138 appearances for Ajax from central midfield, which is excellent. It's something that United have been missing because assuming that Van de Beek doesn't come in and start from the very first week, which I think will be the case because United kind of have that best 11 nailed down as of right now. I don't think there are many players that can come in and disrupt that straight away. I think there's going to be a battle, but I think Solskjaer has it nailed down what he wants. And I think the only player that could shake it up would be Jadon Sancho. I think for the others, even if a centre back comes in or another left back or maybe even another centre midfielder, they don't walk straight into that first 11 because the balance is there. What United have been missing is quality and depth. And I think signing somebody like Van de Beek just brings that in because he is better than what United have right now. And this is with all due respect to Andreas Pereira, Jesse Lingard, even Fred and Scott McTominay. Those are not the kind of players, or at least the first two are, but they're just not performing at that level, that you bring on and they make an instant impact. Well, for a player of Van de Beek's quality and experience on the European stage, like I said before, the amount of goal contributions and how versatile he is, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can't stand on the touchline, look to his bench and see this is a guy that I can bring on and he will affect the game. And that's what's needed. That's what separates United from the great teams right now in the English league and even in Europe. The depth. Solskjaer waits until the 85th minute to make a substitution and then he just throws a Hail Mary, I think kind of giving up and knowing that nothing really is going to happen unless United get granted a miracle. Now, I think this transfer window, and we have all been saying it, is important. It's crucial for United to add pieces that can be first 11 material but don't necessarily have to be because United's first 11, like I said, has been looking good for the past couple of months. So I think in Van de Beek, United get that quality midfielder that's very versatile. He can play the 8, he could play the 10, he could play the 6. Work rate, fantastic. Technically, very sound. He can score goals, he can assist. It's just that perfect player that fits in all three positions that United have in that midfield. It's similar to what United do when they sign forwards, you know. You can't put a cap on Martial that he's just a striker. Same with Rashford, he's not just a left winger. And same with Greenwood, he's not just a right winger. Those are players that can play all across the front three. And in Van de Beek's case, he's a player that can play all across those three central midfield positions that United utilise. That pivot, that Paul Pogba kind of number 8 position, and that Bruno Fernandes more advanced central midfielder, a la number 10. So I think Van de Beek fits the profile for all of those. I think he's versatile enough to fill out all three. But I do think he's coming in as that kind of a number 8 because I think United suffer the most when Pogba and Fernandes aren't playing. But I think Pogba has that thing about him where he can control games from the middle. He can sit deep and he can influence games. He can move forward. He can influence games. And I think Van de Beek is that profile of player. And when Pogba needs rest, considering that he has had a couple of injuries that have been serious enough to maybe affect him mentally and in a way going forward, that they might just re-aggravate because that's football. And with the schedule that's United have been given, and this is without all of the international breaks and cup competitions, so there will be games all the time. Rotation will be crucial, and Solskjaer just did not feel like he was in position to rotate because he felt like when he does rotate, the team is weakened. We saw it against Norwich away in the FA Cup. He rotated pretty much the whole team, and we had to go to extra time and almost had to go to penalties in order to get past the team that was relegated from the last position in the league. And that's just unacceptable for Manchester United. We see it with City, we see it now with Chelsea, how they're strengthening. Liverpool, they can rotate and they still are a well-oiled machine that go and put teams away, even if 2, 3, 4 players are out of the team. And that's what United are striving for right now. And I think this signing of the Dutch international is perfect for that because he is the caliber of player that can come right into the first 11 and give something. But once he comes into that first 11, somebody drops out. And who one of those players will be either Matic, Pogba or Bruno. Those players can come on and affect the game. And it's the same other way around. If Van de Beek comes off the bench and the other 3 start, or even if a Fred or McTominay starts for Matic, Van de Beek can come on and affect the game and help out, and he gives you that quality and depth. And that's what United, of course, are after, because that's why this transfer window is so important, because you have to go from being a good team to closer to being a great team. And that great team is built by having quality all around, not only on the pitch, but also off the pitch. So first deal, all but done. Great to see it happen before preseason starts. The rumours from the plane trackers are that United officials might be in Germany right now after sealing that deal for Donny Van De Beek. So who knows what's going to happen before this week is over. But I do think that this is not the end of United's business. I think there will be a couple more at least. The reports all over social media are that Solskjaer wants 4. I think 3 are very realistic. And I think there are enough targets there, even not the highest profile, for United to improve upon what they have now and go into next season that starts for United on the 19th of September as a team that's better than the one that finished in the middle of August by losing to Sevilla, because there was just not enough there to bring the team over the line.